Hey, it's Brian. I got my Terminus Barbecue shirt on. It's Module 4. Must be time for The Walking Dead. But before we get into that gigantic AMC franchise, let me review the responses from the survey that I sent out. I also want to talk briefly about the last week's blog post and the discussion post for things. Let me start off. I really appreciate you taking time to submit comments from the survey. I did take the time and read through those and really appreciate all the feedback that we're getting. A lot of people said that they were a little concerned with the type of questions on the quizzes and the amount of reading. Hey, I get it. We're all doing different things during this global pandemic. It's still going on. Infection rates are still going up. I want to try and meet you as much as I can on that. So here's what I've done on regard to that for this last 2 weeks. I've gone through Module 4 and Module 5, and I've taken some of the readings and moved them from required into optional. And I've gone through the quizzes and tried to make the questions much more general than so specific as they were. There's still going to be quizzes, okay, but they should be more on the general ideas of the essays for things for you to be able to get. And some of them relate to the mini lectures that I'm doing to try and make those some easy points to make up for things. Also, people said they would really like to be able to have time to reach out, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to schedule 2 hours of Zoom calls this week and next week. I'll be available on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 3 p.m. I'm posting the Zoom link below this video. You can chime in there. I'd love to be able to check in with you, see how things are going. Of course, if those times don't work, you can email me, all right? So just trying to make some adaptations based on the feedback that I got from people. Now, last week, I had a great time reading your posts about the fast and the slow zombie. As we read that infection rate, it's not just a director choice, it's a reflection of things that are going on in society. It has to do with how we view risk, how we view contagion. Certainly, this has become all the more apparent with coronavirus and all the changes going on. Also, really loved watching your blog posts, especially on your internal group survivor dynamics and interacting with other groups. Now that blog that you're going to finish up today and turn in, it's the first one that asks you really to integrate some kind of theory. I'm not trying to get too technical with this. I'm asking for some concept or ideas from the readings, like Freud's uncanny, the idea of gendered relations, race theory. It doesn't have to be super specific. I don't need you to drop a ton of references. I need you to use some concept from the movies that we're watching to help decode how other survivors interact in these situations, all right? Now, last week I went over a number of axioms that we were added to. The zombie's always a race figured. The stories are always about the present. The figure can represent different things. It consumes everything that it's trying to represent. And finally, as you noted, that these movies, they're actually about the survivors. As my t-shirt indicates, survivors can be cannibals too. If you've caught up on The Walking Dead, I think it's season 3 or 4. There's a lot of stuff. Now, I got to add one axiom to this, and we have already started to notice this, and it's really important for your last blog for this one and next week, and that is that in every one of these stories, communication is at the heart of it. We're looking at rhetorical theories and ways that people interact, but when you're talking about dynamics between your group members, inside your group, and between other groups, and looking ahead, our next thing is going to try to be able to understand threats that exist outside that are challenging the group. Communication is not just tangential, it becomes essential. In fact, every single one of these movies that we have been watching, of course they're zombie movies, and I've told you there are also things that are representing other stuff. These are also movies that are giving you communication concepts. All right, these are all applications of different theories that we have experimented with. If you look ahead to the next week's assignment, when you view that, I've got a lot of examples in there of how people are using communication concepts and theories to understand real threats based on these zombie stories that we've got, all right? Now, we're coming up on The Walking Dead. Wow, what can I say? It's gigantic. We're already into season 9 of the television series. The comic book, it has already ended its run. Robert Kirkman has said this is the end of the comic series. There's a spin-off television series. There's not just one, but a multitude of different games that have been done. Some of them are innovative, some of them are creative. There's so much going on there. I want us to just get our feet wet on The Walking Dead. I want us to get just a little bit involved in it. Pick a couple of episodes to be able to watch. They're easy to find, and that'll allow you to do both the discussion post and the blog entry for things this week. The readings are going to really help in decoding what's going on in The Walking Dead. They're going to help understand a lot of things going on. The main concept we're focusing on is the idea of family in The Walking Dead. So that's how our readings are set up. We could do this whole course on just The Walking Dead, to be completely honest. But we're just going to focus on one concept. We're just going to try and get our feet wet for things and try and move ahead and do things. Now, I just wanted to close by saying I am really enjoying the different blog posts that people are making, the videos that you're making, the survivor situations. You're doing a fantastic job. I look forward every week to reading those, to viewing those. There's a lot of innovation going on there, some things that I've never actually seen before in teaching this class a number of years. So you all should feel very, very proud that in the midst of coronavirus, in the midst of protests going on worldwide, recognizing the importance of Black Lives Matter, you've still got time to be able to apply some new concepts, do some new thinking, and do some scholarly work on that. And that's really what is going to be going on for these next 2 weeks as we close out the semester. So that's all I've got for now. Good luck, zombie hunters. Stay alive.